I woke up like 30 minutes ago. I'm ready to go. It's week 18, baby. Lock in. New Sprint Ride Option podcast starts now.
Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners. Sprint Ride Option podcast. Oh my goodness, we are live. I think this is the first ever game day preview of the Sprint Ride Option podcast. And I really, right now, looking at the lighting I got going on, I really wish I didn't work a 9 to 5 because this lighting is beautiful. If the Sprint Ride Option podcast could just live at 9 a.m. every day, it'd be fantastic. But I have a 9 to 5 and I hate my life for it. But this is a new Sprint Ride Option podcast. I am Andrew Pasquini, joined as always by Jason Aponte. And Jason, allow me to be the first to say it. I've missed you. I have missed you. We haven't done two podcasts in the same week for about a month now because you and I just keep swapping sicknesses. I don't know how we do it. Pretty impressive, 3,000 miles away. But I have missed you.
Yeah, I've missed you too. And yeah, I feel like it has been a while since we've done these things. Look at Ariel. What's up, fellas from Jamaica? Wait, I love that too. But like, oh my God, like, why are you flexing on us like that? Like, we're just peasants at this point.
Just got to casually flex. I like it when people flex on us, to be 1,000% honest. I like it when our viewers brag about all the cool things they do.
I have to say something else though, real quick.
Yes.
That City Edition Golden State Warriors is our Warriors. That's too clean, man. That is too clean.
Was wearing this shirt when they blew an 18-point lead with 5 minutes to go. Just throwing it out there.
Hey, look, we're in the business of cherry picking, so I choose to not remember that game. Since that game, the Warriors are undefeated.
Undefeated against the Detroit Pistons. Just needed to play the worst team in the NBA to get it going again. I
mean, look, it is what it is, man. I don't remember that game. I choose to flush it from my memory, so it's fine. Like that's how we should all be thinking about this.
But like secretly between us, that Jokic shot was sick. That was kind of.
It was not sick. It was not sick if you put down Warriors money line, and when you got to your crib, it was 18 points, and you're just like, oh wow, I'm about to make some money. Not only that, let's talk about another bad beat since we're just out here having a good time. First of all, shout out to D'Amico Ryans. Hell yeah, Houston
love
Texans.
D'Amico.
Let's fucking go. Hell yeah, D'Amico. I bet Houston money line, Nico Collins touchdown, which happened on the first play. CJ Stroud over 265.5 passing yards. CJ Stroud threw for 264 passing yards.
It's kind of scary when that happens, of just how much Vegas knows. Like it's crazy when those lines are just like on the dot. It's insane. I love it. I miss the opportunity of being a degenerate gambler. I want to do it so bad, but like California, not cool. I want to know that pain, to be honest. I want to know what it feels like to just be 1 yard away. What was the spread on that game? Did the Texans fake safety at the end of the game mess anything? I'm sure it messed up some alternate lines, right?
I hope it messed up somebody's line because I'm miserable and misery loves company. And I hope that somebody else got their whole thing ruined too. Like, I hope someone else was just like, oh, I'm home free. And then you watch the punter run out of the end zone and it ruined your game. Good. I don't care.
With 1 second left too. Like that's I think that would be the scariest thing to me, running that play is voluntarily kicking the ball back to the Indianapolis Colts with 1 second left. That can't be a good feeling going into that. I guess it's a free kick, not a kickoff.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just thank you, D'Amico. Shout out to you, D'Amico. Man. That was really cool, man. And it looks like Mike McDaniel will have a chance to get into the playoffs. Bobby Slowick looks like he's playing himself into a head coaching role. The Shanahan tree thriving, and I love that. So, I mean, I don't know, Andrew Pasquini, are we Bills Mafia or are we rolling with Coach Mike?
So I'm a little biased. I have Dolphins fan Albert coming over tonight for that game, so I am going to cheer for I've always liked the Dolphins. Mike McDaniel being, I mean, it's kind of crazy to think that. I mean, we're really in obviously things change 18 game season, all that stuff, but we're an Aaron Rodgers injury away from the entire Shanahan coaching tree in the playoffs. Like, I thought about that last night.
The only thing that makes me a little bit nervous is Raheem Mostert and Jalen Waddle will not be playing in this game. That does not feel good.
I think the good thing, I mean, I kind of a grain of salt for Dolphin fans because I think you'd rather have a home playoff game than anything else, but like at least you're in. I would hate to be a Bills fan tonight if who needs to win? Is it Jacksonville? Is that the team? If Jacksonville wins, Buffalo's in a situation where if they win the East, or if they lose, they're out. I would hate that, because at least like I as I said, I understand Dolphins fans probably not feeling great about not having a home game next week, but like you're in. This game in theory doesn't mean a ton since you're already in, but obviously you want home field and the division. But man, to have such a varying level of degrees where it's like you're either in the playoffs as a division winner
and like the number 2 seed
next week and the 2 seed, or you're just out. Like, could you imagine how much more stressful that Niners Seahawks game back in 2019 would have been if it was the loser of this game is gone? Like that's,
you know what else is funny? What else is funny is the Pittsburgh Steelers are big Tennessee Titans fans today, because if the Tennessee Titans and Dolphins win, the Pittsburgh Steelers are in. So a lot going on today. There is a lot going on today, honestly. And, obviously this show is going to be laid back. It's going to be a little bit more loose, obviously, because it's before, we got 54 minutes before kickoff right now. And also nobody's setting their fantasy lineups, which is also kind of making me sad. But there's a lot going on today. There is a lot going on today in terms of like who's going to make what and playoff situations and stuff like that. But Andrew Pasquini, I think we might be a 49ers podcast. We might be.
We are a 49ers podcast. So I think
we are.
The game we're going to talk about, unless you want to talk about like Jacksonville versus Tennessee more.
Tennessee. Ryan Tannehill time?
We have, well, I mean, you talk about Ryan Tannehill, we're going to be talking a lot of Carson Wentz, Sam Darnold here. And that's kind of where I want to start. Because, like, listen, I'm going to be 1,000% honest. This is going to be, I'll hand up my left hand up myself. This is going to be the worst preview from me personally, because this game means nothing, right? At least to the Niners. If you want to be a sicko and care about the regular season winning streak, sure, like that's cool. But when we're talking about Sam Darnold versus Carson Wentz, I don't think I like. You know how Rams fans make fun of us for being like, 9-game regular season winning streak, and then they go, well, what happened in the playoff game? I think if the Niners lose today, I think we can just kind of all communitively agree that like this doesn't count. It's still 9-game winning streak regardless of what happens, because it's Carson Wentz versus Sam Darnold. I think this game can go either one of two ways, and this is where I want to start. I want to get your opinion on this. I could see this game being one of two things: either a glorified preseason game, where it's just both teams kind of going through the motions, because as we talked about last week, this is a situation where the Niners and Rams could play each other in a week or two, or what would have to be at least 2 weeks because the Niners don't play next week. Or I can see this being the greatest pissing contest of all time between Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay, where it's like we both got our backup quarterbacks in. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun with this. And so I don't know where I'm at with this game, because I want to be excited because it is Niners Rams, but let's be honest, both teams aren't playing really for anything. But I also could see a world where like Shanahan, like first play of the game, it's like some weird like double reverse back to Darnold, who unleashes a pass 30 yards, because that's a deep shot, 30 yards downfield for a touchdown. And then McVay being like, so like we're doing this. We're gonna be weird with our quarterback. So I don't know where I'm at with this game, and I think that's part of the fun of it, is I don't know what's gonna happen.
I can add some juice to this game.
Okay, let's do it. I want to hear some juice.
Okay, the Baltimore Ravens lost yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The San Francisco 49ers have a chance with a victory to have the best record in the entire NFL.
Okay,
let's put some juice on it. I think Kyle Shanahan knows that too. I think Kyle Shanahan's kind of sitting there like, again, we've talked about it. You can't bench everyone. There's going to be starters that are going to be playing well into this game. It's just a numbers game.
Yeah.
48 have to be up. There's 22 players on offense and defense.
Yep.
Then it means the backups, that's 44. It's almost impossible to bench everyone and just play other people.
Yeah, like I know some people are angry that like Trent Williams is playing today. The Niners
Williams has to play.
The Niners have 8 offensive linemen on the team. So like,
yes,
who's not playing? Like, and
right.
I understand like not wanting Trent to play, but like there are some players that I am sure value staying fresh or staying in game playing mode. And I'd assume not to say Trent Williams is older. He is, let's be honest. I'm sure he probably values getting game reps over resting, because he gets, let's be honest, a lot of the times Trent Williams pops up on the injury report every week because he has that vet day at the start of the week. So like he already gets plenty of built-in time off during weeks. So I'm sure he probably wants some reps today, just to stay fresh, especially with the week off. That's what throws it off a little bit, is the week off next week, is everybody gets rest next week. So like, how do you balance it? I totally understand Purdy not playing, because we still live in a universe where he is, quote unquote, recovering from a pretty major elbow surgery. So when you can get him a chance to not have to play, you absolutely take it. And that's what you're seeing today. Obviously, there's players like Christian McCaffrey who have legitimate injuries who should not play, Jair Brown who should not play. But to me, in this situation, if you are a healthy player who wants to play, like, play. And I'd assume Trent Williams. I don't think Trent Williams walked up to Kyle Shanahan and said, no, I don't want to play on Sunday. And Shanahan said, too bad, bucko, you're playing today. Yeah. Like, I'm sure Trent Williams was like, hey, I would like to play. So I get the angst of Niner fans, because good players might be playing in this game. But like, there's a lot of reasons. And as Jason said, probably the biggest is math, is there's going to have to be people who are going to have to play this game.
Well, also too, I mean, I wish Jauan Jennings would play in this game, because like to put a serious face on this game, I would like to see contributors get themselves back into game shape. Like Ray McLeod being there, like I'm watching for that in the punt return game, because there is something sorely missing, right? Like it's not about the top end guys, because you know what they are. It's about contributors being ready to go within 2 weeks, especially if you haven't played. Jauan Jennings has been out for a while. Obviously, he's not going to play. Ray McLeod hasn't been around, but you want to get him back acclimated. So there are things to watch in this game. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, we're joking around because this game doesn't necessarily mean anything. But I can guarantee you this team is looking at this game like we have a chance right now to be the best team with the best record in the NFL. And there are a lot of guys who want to show what they're worth going into a valuable divisional game. So there are things to watch 100%. Like, this isn't just going to be like a ha-ha, like whatever game. You definitely want to see your backup linemen also play well. God forbid one of these guys gets injured, things like that, right? Like, I'm excited to see Ben Barch. I want to see what Ben Barch got.
Ben Barch.
I want to see what he has, and I want to see if these guys make it out of this game healthy. I think everybody wants two things: health and a win. And I think it's more about that than anything. But right now, there are contributors to this team that need to show that they're getting back into shape and that they are actually ready to contribute, because the lights go on in 2 weeks. And there's no like, oh, it's just one game, get them ready. No. The lights go on in 2 weeks, and that's it. It's win, and that's it. Like, and move on. So, I think there's a lot to watch here in this game.
And you make a great point too about, like, it's not necessarily about the big contributors. It's about the people below, because like, if you think of some of the bigger 49ers playoff plays, I guess would be the word to say it, it's not the Deebo Samuels. It's not the Brandon Ayuks. I mean, you think 10 years ago, I'm not going to say the name, but a certain number 10 who was returning punts. It wasn't like he was a household name at that point against the Giants in the NFC Championship game. If you go back to a brighter spot, the Packer game a couple years ago, the big play of that game was Jordan Willis and a rookie Talanoa Hufanga who didn't have a ton of snaps. So like, a lot of times the bigger plays in playoffs, most of the time it is the bigger names, because that's why they're big names. But there's a lot of plays in postseason history that it's like, okay, who's like at least not to Niner fans, but who's Jordan Willis and Talanoa Hufanga to non-Niner fans, right? It's a lot of those, not necessarily A-team guys, but the B-team guys, and you're going to see a lot of them play today. And you mentioned wanting to see like Jauan Jennings play today. Whether he plays or not, we don't know, but like, I would love to see him play, because anytime you're out 3 weeks with a concussion, I would like to see any sign of health that you are back in game shape. So like, even if he could just be ruled as like a healthy scratch, like, hey, he would have played today, but like, we're being cautious, I would like to know that Jauan Jennings, because I made the joke. Who was it? Was against the Ravens? I forget. All these games meld together at this point. Maybe it was Washington last week. I made the joke of third and Ronnie doesn't have the same ring as third and Jawan, right? Like it's that stuff. It's the little things. Jawan Jennings has a very important role on this team on third downs. I would like to get him back. So, excuse me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cough in your ear like that. I'm still getting over stuff. But yeah, Jason, I think from when I say there's not much to look forward to in this game, I'm talking in terms of our normal predictions. But yes, there's a ton to look forward to in this game, and that's what I'm saying. It's like I think it could either be a really kind of a vanilla, boring game, or it could be really interesting because like I cannot rule out Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan trying to one up each other with their backup quarterbacks.
Well, there's another thing to look at, and Kyle Shanahan talked about this. And for everybody who gave me shit when I mentioned this about the Los Angeles Rams, he literally said, we might be playing them in 2 weeks. And all the things that I mentioned about not wanting to play the Los Angeles Rams and why I don't like it, he mentioned. Yeah. Matthew Stafford's playing great football. Mm-hmm. Aaron Donald is a game breaker. They have a running game with Kyron Williams. Literally, Kyle Shanahan echoed my sentiments. I literally was talking about that. And what we're talking about now is this has got to be a vanilla-ass game plan because Raheem Morris is on the other side. They know each other. All of these guys are all together. Like, they're all, like, the chess match is serious. So, like, there is a lot to this game that is nothing, if that makes any sense. Meaning, like, they can keep it vanilla, but Kyle Shanahan knows that the Rams are annoying. And that's my point in the NFC. I'm not scared of Dallas. I'm not scared of Philly. I'm not scared of Seattle. Fuck Green Bay. I don't care. None of those teams matter. But the Los Angeles Rams scare the shit out of me because it's a divisional game. They're weird like that. They have a really good quarterback. They have a running game all of a sudden, and they got a game breaker in Aaron Donald. Kyle Shanahan talked about that. So there is a little bit to like what's going on in this game in terms of strategy, what's vanilla, what's not. So for me, it's right now about kind of just watching this game and just seeing the little chess match within the game because there is nothing to play for. Guys aren't playing each other, and everybody seems to be kind of holding things close to the vest. Yes. And that's what's funny about this. So if you think that I was tripping for saying that I believe that the Rams are the most annoying team in the NFC to face, you better talk to your coach about it because I think he believes the same exact thing.
And like, I think the thing that scares me too about the Rams, and we've talked about it a little bit, Jason, is this is a team that's 2 years removed from a Super Bowl title. And this is Sean McVay's best coaching job. I know I'm not I know I'm not like Jason Aponte where I get to vote on these fancy schmancy.
Yeah, but I don't get to vote for the real one. Let's just put this out there. So PFWA, they get their votes, but that's not AP. So
AP is the big one.
AP's the big one. I get a vote, but I get a vote for like kind of what tells you is gonna happen, right? So if the PFWA MVP comes back as Lamar Jackson, odds are the AP vote is going to be for Lamar Jackson, right? So like I want to make sure I had to clarify that myself, man. I want to make sure that I got it out there.
You getting to vote on anything, I would just brag about. So like, it doesn't matter what it could be the like CNN team of the year, like just the most unofficial thing. I'd be like, yeah, did I get to vote for MVP? Yeah, it's like MSNBC's MVP vote, but I like if I had an AP vote or a PBS vote or whatever the hell you want to say.
PBS vote?
Sean McVay would get my coach of the year vote.
Nope. You know who's my coach of the year now?
Who's your coach of the year?
DeMeco Ryans.
DeMeco Ryans is up there, but it's just there was such a narrative around this Rams team that like, oh, Matthew Stafford's cooked and he's old and this and that. The defense
and they've got no talent. They got no talent.
They got no talent. Like Cooper Kupp's their only weapon, and now like Puka Nacua and Kyron Williams have developed, and just what they've done. Like I think the best way to say it, Jason Aponte, is if 18 years ago we fast forwarded or rewound all the way back to week 1, and we had this conversation of what team do you not want to face in the playoffs as a 49er fan, I think there would have been 6 or 7 teams before the Los Angeles Rams. But now here we are, week 18, and it's like we don't want to play the Rams, leaving daytime Emmy vote. Hey man, we qualified. It's daytime now.
I love that.
I like
love that. It's funny. No. He's talking about like there's the Emmys, there's the daytime Emmys, right? Like
yeah, that too. There we go. Yeah. No,
it's so
if my daytime Emmy coach of the year would be Sean McVay.
Dan
Campbell's up there.
He's up there. If Coach Mike wins this game without Jalen Waddle and Raheem Mostert, and gets his team into the playoffs, Coach Mike is the guy who I picked earlier in the year for Coach of the Year. Kevin Stefanski's off the board for me. He just is, and it's not me. It's not me being salty about the fact that Kyle didn't get, the same sort of accolades that he's getting for winning with a bunch of quarterbacks. But I have a hard time because that defense is so good, right? And if we're gonna knock Kyle Shanahan for having like a great defense around him and all that stuff, like Kyle could win it every year that the Niners are good. He could win it every year that the Niners are good. Dan Campbell's up there, but that decision in Dallas is fucking gross. It puts you out of the conversation when you make moves like that.
Do we want to talk about that? Because I'm on the other side.
I think it's. Are you?
I'm on
from the 7, you're going for 2. Just take your point.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that if it was any other head coach. Dan Campbell has established himself as a fucking psychopath who goes for it all the time. So like if it was Kyle Shanahan who tends to be a little more conservative going forward on a must score at the 7-yard line when you could just kick the field goal, we would be questioning it. But like it's Dan Campbell just like rips a line before those decisions. Like we're just going for it, man. Like there's never any hesitation. Like that's just who he is, right? And so, but also to like not to dive in because there's been a billion takes on that play. They should have never had to run the play from the 7-yard line because they should have been given 2 points for correctly reporting a player.
By the way, since we're talking about votes, vote for the Detroit Lions social media team for making fun of. He's like, I'm reporting. Taylor Decker shows up. I'm reporting. You gotta love good social media. Like the only other social media team that I think is better right now than them is probably the Los Angeles Chargers, and they got to be good at something. So it's social media. But when they do their schedule release, it's so good. But like,
are we gonna be Charger fans next year?
Are we?
There's a certain head coach, Michigan, right?
Jim
now.
Harbaugh is linked to the Los Angeles Chargers. Is he gonna win? Is he gonna give Michigan the national title and then leave?
Yes.
And then go? Yes. Yeah. No. Build a statue. Be there in Michigan and make $30 million every single year.
I think the statue is going to be built if he wins this championship, regardless of where he goes. But I think, and this is Andrew, like not knowing much about the college football situation with Connor Stallions, but how many times have we seen head coaches leave situations where they know that team's going to get decimated by sanctions? I mean, Chip Kelly, Pete Carroll, Urban Meyer, a lot of people have left these schools before getting absolutely reamed by sanctions. It would make sense. I don't know if there's a team that I wouldn't support if Jim Harbaugh went there. Maybe the Seahawks. I see a little bit of reports that the Seahawks might be moving on from Pete Carroll at the end of this year or something. I don't know if I can cheer for the Seahawks with Jim Harbaugh up there, but I think the LA Chargers is the perfect spot, Jason, for me to cheer for Jim Harbaugh in the NFL. I don't think I can do Seattle, but the Chargers would be perfect.
Yeah. I mean, look, I would like him to take over a certain team that he used to play for, but they're bringing back their head coach.
Chicago or Indy? Chicago.
Yeah. No, Indy. Shane Steichen's not going anywhere.
I was going to say Steichen's kind of earned. Yeah, I was like, I would love him. I would love him to go to Chicago. Also, I'm at the point
keep Justin Fields.
That's what I was going to say. Keep Fields.
Yeah. Keep Justin Fields, draft Marvin Harrison, draft someone else, draft another edge rusher, and build their roster out.
You can't do that, Jason. Did you hear Emmanuel Acho? Did you hear his take on that? This was a very real take. He goes, you just draft Caleb Williams, because if you trade back, that means you got to hit on Marvin Harrison, and then you got to hit on the offensive lineman, and then you got to hit.
All right.
And it's like his logic was it's easier to hit on one draft pick than it is to hit on three for. So he's essentially saying you'd have too many first-round picks. Like, what the hell? What does that mean?
Andrew Pasquini, so you mean to tell me that you have to hit on probably one of the most generational talents that we've seen at the wide receiver position?
Wild.
Probably on his way being better than his father, who is like one of the most underrated receivers. Like, I don't envy being in that position in Chicago, like understanding, like, hey, do you keep Fields? Do you drop the quarterback? That's up to you, right? Like, that's up to you, right? I think Justin Fields has played very fucking good football down the stretch here, right?
Yes.
Especially without an offensive mind. And think about this. Jim Harbaugh was the one who unlocked Alex Smith.
Yep.
Alex Smith for a long time was just a guy for a while, right? Like, just, we want Carr. Like, I didn't forget. Don't tell me that Jim Harbaugh wouldn't be able to get his arms around Justin Fields and make him better. And then you give him another receiver, Marvin Harrison, DJ Moore. You're looking at like a top 1-2 combo, like going forward for a long time. Get another edge rusher. You already have Montez Sweat. You sign the extension. Yeah. Like, the Bears are in a spot where only the Bears can fuck this up now. Yeah. Only the Bears can fuck this up right now.
Which is really scary if you're a Bears fan, because like they tend to fuck things up. Like,
they're sitting there. They're kind of sitting there like in a position where they're just like, I don't know what to do with my hands. And I think Jim Harbaugh is in a spot where if you go to a place that they love you, you've already been there. And you get your hands on Justin Fields, man, they would be so fun. They would be so much fun, man. And the Bears might be back if Jim Harbaugh's there.
I will say this, and this will be the last Jim Harbaugh thing. We'll get. I think people are seeing how much we're paying attention to this Niners-Rams game, because we keep kind of breaking off into different things.
We already talked about it, though. Like,
I will say this, and I know, and somebody can write this down, clip this, whatever you want to do. This is January 7th. If Jim Harbaugh goes and gets Justin Herbert in LA, Niners-Chargers Super Bowl next season. Book it.
No way. Not a chance.
Oh, and Jim Harbaugh has such a history of just walking into situations and turning it into a championship caliber program. With that pass rush they have with Justin Herbert, I can see a world where Jim Harbaugh just walks in and that's a Super Bowl caliber team.
Not a chance.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Prediction. Bill Belichick goes to the Los Angeles Chargers and makes them absolutely fucking boring, and they never win anything ever again.
I think he's going to Washington. I think
Why would he go there?
There's a bajillion reasons. Isn't he big in the Navy? He'll be right next to the Navy. He likes lacrosse. Lacrosse is big in Washington. Like, I think there's a lot of reasons he'd be big. I came in late. Did they say, "Oh, Cat Williams"? We want to talk Cat Williams. What a man!
Electric.
Dog, listen.
Look, we're on pilot mode just like everybody else is. So week 18 shows are electric.
You know how I know Cat Williams actually lived in Sacramento for 2 years? Is he didn't pronounce it Sacramento. If you're from Sacramento, you don't pronounce the T. It's just Sacramento, and he had it down. That Cat Williams interview, I don't even know half the stuff he's talking about, because like I don't know much about comedians. I know comedians, but like I don't know their personal lives. But when he talked, it's almost like professional wrestler level, like a really, how when there's wrestlers like MJF with you, right? Like, you're not the biggest wrestling guy, but like when MJF talks,
when somebody's got it.
Yeah, like I don't know what Cat Williams is talking about. Cedric the Entertainer stealing his bits, but like I'm sitting here like, yeah, dude, like Cedric the Entertainer absolutely stole bits from Cat Williams, because that's how convincing he was talking about it.
I know we're completely off topic right now, but I want to say this. Skip Bayless was absolutely holding fucking Shannon Sharp back. Shannon Sharp is a GOAT right now. Shannon Sharp's a GOAT. And that interview was perfect, man. It was literally just sitting there and just being like, like if you're doing an interview with somebody, you have to have a feel, right? Mm-hmm. If I have Matt Mayoko on my channel, I have a feel. I want Matt to talk. right? I want to have Matt talk, right? Like, I don't want to talk. I want him to talk.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm in an interview and, let's say, I don't know. I don't know how to explain this. Like, Shannon Sharpe right now has a bigger reach right now, I feel, than Cat Williams. But if you're Shannon Sharpe and you're bigger than Cat Williams, you have to let him run with that interview. And that's what the good interviewers do that. It's like, okay, like, I know I'm like, he's cooking. I'm going to let him cook. And that it takes a big man, one, and it takes a good interviewer. Shannon Sharpe was being held back by Skip Bayless, man. Skip Bayless has been holding him back for so long. And Shannon Sharpe right now is in his bag. Dude, the best thing about my Sunday nights, I mean, aside from, doing post game and then talking with, Andrew Pasquini on Monday, is watching Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco.
Yeah.
That show is electric, dude.
They're fun.
Shannon Sharpe was being held back by Skip Bayless, man. It's just insane to me to watch Shannon's growth and watch him be a good interviewer, because you have to kind of give and choose, right? Like, or give and take. I'm the interviewer. I'm bigger than you. But if you're cooking, you're cooking. Let Cat cook. And Shannon did that, man. Like, honestly, man, I know Shannon's not watching this, but man, fuck, I'm really proud of him, man. I don't know why.
Okay, so let's see. So we've gotten Jim Harbaugh. We've gotten a little bit Niner Rams talk. We've gotten some
no, let's keep going. No, I got one more for you, Andrew Pasquini.
Well, I was gonna say thoughts on Draymond. He's not suspended anymore. He's coming.
Draymond's ramping up.
This is a variety. This is a right option podcast variety show.
Draymond's ramping up. He's needed at the 5, but you cannot sacrifice Trace minutes for him at this point. I don't know what the medium is. Steve Kerr, I don't care about CP3 being injured.
No.
Give those minutes to Pods, Moody, other guys,
Kuminga.
And not fucking Corey Joseph. What are we doing here? I don't get it. What are we doing here?
I thought it was so wild because I went to the game last week and he was talking about like having to get Corey Joseph minutes, and I'm like, dude, Corey Joseph
you don't have to get Corey Joseph fucking minutes if he needed minutes.
Well, Corey Joseph didn't come into the game until garbage time at the game I was at. It's like, how do you need to get this guy minutes if he's not coming in until garbage time? Like listen, I'm so excited that Warriors Twitter is finally turning on Steve Kerr because I've been on the anti-Steve Kerr bus since 2017. Yes, I've been on it ever. So this is a deep cut for Warriors fans. Ever since Festus Ezeli fouled LeBron James in Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals with 4 minutes left, why is the Warriors had something called the death lineup? Why is Festus Ezeli in the game in Game 7 of the NBA Finals with 4 minutes left to foul LeBron James on the perimeter in a moment where nobody was making any shots? Like, I know a lot of people go to the Kyrie shot. I know a lot of people go to the LeBron block. But to me, the play of that Game 7 was Festus Ezeli fouling LeBron James. And I will never forgive Steve Kerr for allowing Festus Ezeli in that game. And I love Festus. Festivus for the rest of us, man. That's what they say on Seinfeld, right? I love Festus Ezeli.
Oh my God. A Seinfeld reference? Yo,
I know. Listen, I'm a master of none. I know a lot of the like popular references to a lot of things, but like if you go anything below the surface, I'm out.
Did Joshua just say light the beam?
Hey man, I'm pro beam too. I'm from Sacramento. I live in Sacramento.
He just sees the shit out his window. What you mean? Andrew lives in Sacramento. He just sees the shit out his window.
I like the beam. I'm pro beam.
The beam's cool. That is cool.
Okay, between you and I, and this is Andrew Jason story.
Between you and I, and our by the way, and our over 100 live viewers right now. Make sure
we love you guys.
Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Yeah, go. Between you and I.
That Warriors game that I went to last week, it was Jamie, my girlfriend Jamie, her first ever NBA game. She had never been to an NBA game.
Congrats on having a girlfriend.
And she goes, I love that. That was so much fun. I cannot wait to go to another NBA game. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Sunday, she's like, I want to go to an NBA game again. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And she's like, okay, I bought tickets. We're gonna go see the Hornets and Kings play on Tuesday. So she went to
the Hornets.
She went to her first ever NBA game on Thursday and was just like, that was so much fun. Just turned around and bought tickets for a game 2 days later. And so we got to watch the Kings lose to the Hornets at Golden One. I'm 0-2. I've never seen the beam at a game I've been at. I'm 0-2 in those games.
I wanna I want to say one thing.
Yes.
Obviously, Vader Joe right here. I got this up. Oh, and Last of Us Emmy sweep or we riot. Yes, Last of Us HBO banger. I love that our audience will allow us to talk about everything and anything that has nothing to do with the 49ers right now. And stick around. I mean, at this point, like you tuned into us to listen to 49ers Rams analysis, and we've covered Cat Williams, Shannon Sharp, Jim Harbaugh, Andrew's Super Bowl prediction if Jim Harbaugh goes to the Chargers, the Warriors and their rotation, the fact that Andrew has wanted Steve Kerr fired.
Yes.
I love all you guys so much. And oh no, and Harold, this is where before he cut me off, this is literally where I was going with this. Let's keep going. I don't care, man. Look, guys, if you're here because you're vibing. Because right now, I hope you're not in your fantasy championship because please God leave that league. There's no reason.
Yeah, don't do a week 18 play.
Week 18. The Rock wants to be head of the table.
Dwayne, so simple.
And we're eschewing Cody Rhodes. We're getting him out the way. We're moving him. I love this. Yes. I love this because I'm a Rock enthusiast, and the Rock's the GOAT in my opinion. I love this, man. Him coming back, and you know what? I have two things to say real quick. One, I love the ring announcer. What's her name?
Samantha Irvin.
Little baddie. What's her? Yeah.
Very
I love her
pro
reaction.
Samantha Irvin. Yes.
She's a react. She, I love that. But The Rock needs to fire whoever is like collaborating with him on his promos. Go back to the guy that you went to, but I want The Rock back, and I want The Rock to fight Roman Reigns, and I'm going to watch. I'm locked in. I'm locked in right now, Andrew Pasquini, on WWE because The Rock's back, and there is a chance that we can do head of the table, bloodline, we the ones, all that shit.
Well, so I have a kind of hot take. First of all, I have a hot take just with it. I think that promo from Dwayne on Monday night was the unofficial beginning to his presidency run. I think he's going to run for president. Can we hang on before we dive into Dwayne? Can we take Chris's question here? Thank you for the donation. Let's. He's donating and he has a question about the actual football game. Let's take this. Do you think resting Brock is a potentially bad move? I feel like you get starters at least a quarter of play to keep them in shape. No, because I believe I read a thing that this week, and if I misread this, please tell me, Jason. I believe Shanahan said that Darnold and Purdy split reps, first team reps this week. Yep. Is that something I read? Yes. So that's a way to keep them fresh. That in itself, it wasn't a full, like, you're the backup this week, you're going to get a full week's rest. I would rather him get those practice reps and then rev back up for the first playoff game that they're going to have than play in this game and risk anything. I get this school of thought though, Royale, because I know the big rest versus rust conversation is huge. But I think the way Shanahan has handled this, giving him practice reps and just not letting him play in the game, I think this is the way to go. I think this is the best way to handle this.
For me, I heard Steve Young and what he said, and I actually understand what he said, but I'm going to say something that's a little bit controversial against that. And it's not because I don't respect Steve Young, because I think he's one of the football players that I actually listen to his opinion, because there's a lot of football players that I could give a fuck about what they think about this team or football. But I trust Brock. To not be rusty, right? Like, and it's like literally what he said about, like, I'm just not going to be sitting on the couch twiddling my thumbs, right? Like, there is a little something to trusting the person and not the situation. And what I mean is, like, it's like, for me, I'm looking at a guy who knows his responsibility, understands the assignment, right? As the kids would say. Yes. And I trust Brock. Maybe if this was another quarterback that maybe I was a little bit hesitant about, right? Just a little bit, right? Like, all right. So think about this in 2019. And I hate to keep doing this to him because he's so handsome and I think so much of him. But Jimmy Garoppolo in a divisional game against the Minnesota Vikings wasn't allowed to throw the football after a certain amount of time. In the NFC Championship, wasn't allowed to throw the football. I don't think there's ever a situation where I feel like that with Brock Purdy.
No.
And it's crazy to say that about a guy who is like entering his like 20-something start or whatever in the league. It's Brock. It's not the situation itself. I don't think everything is black and white when it comes to quarterbacks. I think it's dependent on the player. And for me, I have a lot of confidence in Brock. And I think that's where I'm at right now. So you could look at it and say, well, he hasn't played. Okay, that's it's fine. But if it was another quarterback, I might be a little bit more nervous, but I don't feel nervous like when it comes to that with Brock. I don't.
No.
I think he understands the shit too much. He understands too many things too much.
I think part of it is too also why I'm comfortable with it, and to bring the Jimmy Garoppolo comparison back is I think kind of like what I said with Trent Williams, right? Like I think Trent Williams should play today because he is a little bit older, get those game reps, stay a little fresher. I think Brock Purdy being a second-year quarterback also makes this a lot easier because I'd imagine it's a little easier for him to shake off the rust as a 23, 24-year-old compared to Jimmy Garoppolo, who 30, 31, 32, somewhere in that age, where it's going to be a little tougher to shake the rust off. So yeah, like I think I never once thought that Brock Purdy was going to play in this game. And I think this is the right move, especially too, as I said, the big thing is I think the last thing you want is just such an innocuous play and have him get bumped into his arm and then have something weird happen. I think you really got to protect Brock Purdy because if anything, if you played Brock Purdy in this game and anything happened to him and you have to roll with Sam Darnold in a playoff game, like you don't feel great. And I think I saw some, I forget who said it. And if you were the one who said it, or if anybody said it, please tell me, but this isn't necessarily about resting Brock Purdy than it is getting the glass ready to break, because you remember what happened last year. I think we all remember what happened last year, and getting Sam Darnold a game rep before the playoffs, like as a just in case break glass in case of emergency situation, and having him have a full game of game reps going into the postseason. I can see that being a little value. Harold says Brock is the golden ticket to the Super Bowl. Keep him healthy. But then if something, and we're just knocking on all the wood I can find right now, something happens to him in the postseason, then at least you can say, okay, well, Darnold got these full game reps. This full game rep. Jason, did you get all the boogies out? I don't know what that is.
I did. Good. No, it is because he can tell that I was struggling with boogers, man. Oh my god, man. Our viewers are very like
they're not just listening to us, they're looking at us. They're looking at us.
This podcast, this one, if you're listening in your car and eventually, I don't know if you will at this point, because by the time you get a chance to get this audio, like
this audio is not being posted. This is an exclusive, Jason, because it has like an hour shelf life.
But I will say this, the smoker, you're very observant. And yes, I did. And thank you for asking.
Perfect. Thank you for the question, Chris, by the way. Back to Dwayne.
That was a good question.
But yeah, I think Monday night was the unofficial, like, Dwayne might run for presidency, because it was we haven't had like a foreigner USA thing in WWE for a very long time. And having Dwayne come out and riff about like America just felt kind of weird and out of place.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, yo, can we get him back with the guy who used to let him cook on the promos?
Well, that's the thing is how easy he is, or how simple he makes shit, because I didn't know where he was going at the end of the promo, but then once he got there, it was so obvious for him to be like, San Diego, say before I leave, I'm gonna go out and eat dinner tonight. And where do you want me to sit? I'm like, where are you going with this, Dwayne? You want me to sit at a booth? You want me to sit at the bar? And then Dwayne does his big dramatic pause. I'm like, where the fuck is he going with this? Or do you want me to sit?
At the head
of the table? Like, oh my god, Dwayne! Like, and yeah. But I think the easiest way to do this, and you're gonna hate me for this, Jason.
Oh, I don't like it.
Dwayne versus Roman at Elimination Chamber in Australia. I think
with no belt on the line.
No, with the belt. You could do the strap if you want. Listen, and here's my hot take: if you want to do Dwayne versus Roman at WrestleMania, there does not have to be a championship on the line for that.
No.
But I think that because like there's not to dive in too much to WWE, there's a fatal 4-way match at Royal Rumble, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, LA Knight versus Roman Reigns for the belt. Maybe you take it off there because Cody Rhodes does not need Roman Reigns to have the belt to finish the story, brother. It could be on somebody else. If you want to do Dwayne versus Roman at WrestleMania, you don't need a title. But if you want to do it for the title, I think the spot is Elimination Chamber in Australia. And then Cody can finish the story at WrestleMania against Roman Reigns. That's where I'm at with it because Cody's finishing his story. That's all that I'm saying. That's what I got. But I know we're here to talk about Dwayne. No matter what, no matter how predictable it is, no matter how obvious it is that Dwayne's coming back, anytime that if you smell it hits, you just get goosebumps. Like it's just it's like the glass breaking. It's like the bell tolling for the Undertaker. Like it could be them telling you the Undertaker's coming out, but the second that first gong hits, like you get the goosebumps.
Here it is. Ariel, you're in Jamaica, my guy, man, and I appreciate you.
We love you.
Here sending, No, Roman loses the belt at Elimination Chamber and faces The Rock at Mania for the belt.
So you get to
no, he loses the belt.
I love Dwayne, but like keep. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Roman loses at he could lose at the Royal Rumble. He could really lose at the Royal Rumble. The Fatal 4-Way. It's LA Knight versus Randy Orton versus AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns for the title belt.
Can't no man knock me out. I'm tired of being humble. This is my show. This is my camera. If there's a button for you to push, can't no man knock me out. What do you mean?
Did you see how that went down? Now we're diving into SmackDown, but it was a triple threat match between Orton, LA Knight, and AJ Styles. The winner would go on to face Roman Reigns. And once the match kind of got to the nitty gritty and all three men were down, Roman's music hits. And by the way, if you want to talk about aura in professional wrestling, go watch Roman Reigns walk down the ramp during that triple threat match because guy has aura. He comes down with Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa, and they all just beat the shit out of all three of them. And Nick Aldis, the general manager of SmackDown, tells Paul Heyman, I thought this was very well done. He goes, well, tell Roman congratulations because he messed up this match. So now he has to face all three of them at the Royal Rumble. And that I like it. Rome 33, please explain.
Look, let's end on this because we're getting
I'm a child.
We're getting close to kickoff.
Yeah, we're getting close to kickoff. We're gonna wrap up here, Rome 33. Because I'm a child. Rome 33. I saw you compare it to All My Children. I love All My Children. I watched it as a kid because my mom watched it. So shout out. You can deep cut there. But spoiler, here's the thing, Rome. Your favorite TV show, whether it's Game of Thrones, whether it's Breaking Bad, whether it's Friends, it's also scripted and fake. Just throwing it out there. But we have 10 minutes left, Jason. 10 minutes left until kickoff. Do you have any final thoughts on WWE before we get to the prediction portion?
No, I'm just super excited, man. I hope I get to get this Rock Roman matchup. Whenever it is, I'm fine with it. I will subscribe or steal the pay-per-view to watch it because The Rock's my favorite.
You want my Peacock login?
Relax. I got the cock.
There you go, baby.
Oh, that was uncalled for. Yeah, like I hope this is why you can't upload this audio.
Did you know? Just throw it. Remember when Pat McAfee was?
Yes.
Was with WWE
streaming on the cock.
Like it was like his first show too. Like it was his first show. He dropped that, and Peacock was like, "No, we're not gonna do that." Let a naysayer know, am I right?
Look, and another reason too, like if you're asking like why we're talking about wrestling is because Andrew and I like to have fun, and no matter what, like football's always gonna be fun. Speaking about football and speaking about like this back and forth is always gonna be fun. But I think we like to have fun.
We kind of stumbled maybe into an off-season show, like once every so often, Sunday morning coffee with Jason and Andrew, where we're just kind of talking. I think we might have stumbled into something here. Ayo, pause, Axel, we love you.
Cameron Mace would be like, "Hey, yo, that's nuts. That's nuts."
Predictions. I don't have an underdog, Jason, because I don't know.
They don't have anything up. They don't have anything up.
I don't know who's necessarily going to take the snaps.
They don't have anything up.
They don't have anything up, so I guess a good time to throw it out if you're wanting to do it today. Hey, it's week 18. You got to get your picks in. There's other games out there to pick on.
Yeah, you can bet on NBA.
Or just any other NFL game. There's a lot of NFL games you can bet on or put picks in on. Use promo code APONTE. They'll match your first deposit up to $100. No Niner picks today. We're just going to skip it. Predictions. My prediction is the Niners get out of here healthy. That's really all you need. You hope they look good. You hope things work well. In terms of the final score, I don't care.
Oh, I got a good one.
I hope the Niners win. Just the win streak continues against the Rams. I think that's a fun little streak. I'll go 17-13. Niners win. Like it's a Sam Darnold, Carson Wentz game. There it is. 17-13 Niners.
Look at me in my eyes. Look at me dead in my eyes. I'm opening them wide.
Okay.
San Francisco 49ers win 27-24 on a last-minute Jake Moody field goal to win the game. He makes a clutch kick, and we're sending everyone into this bye week with confidence, including our beloved special teams kicker. And
love it.
Fuck the Pro Bowl for snubbing Mitch Wisnowski. All-Pro Mitch. Let's start the campaign. But Jake Moody wins this game 27-24. San Francisco 49ers win this one on a last-second Jake Moody field goal. Let's go.
We love it. Jake Moody positivity on week 18. It took us a while to get here, but Jason Aponte got to. I actually, real quick, you mentioned the Pro Bowl. Might as well throw it out there.
9.
Purdy, McCaffrey, Juszczyk, Kittle, Williams, Bosa, Hargrave, Warner, and Ward named to the Pro Bowl for the 49ers. A couple names missed, and that's where I'm at. I still can't believe that we're still at a point where we're getting angry at snubs because obviously Niner fans went out there. Jason saying snubbing Dre Greenlaw as well.
Yeah,
Niner fans went out there and voted all these.
Stop putting Make-A-Wish Bobby Wagner on this.
Yeah.
Like Bobby Wagner's going to Canton, but that shit is Make-A-Wish.
Buda Baker in over Antoine Winfield?
All over Antoine Winfield? Like, what are we doing? Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown not making this shit. I know we're all mad about Brandon Ayuk. My God, man. Like, let's just please keep it objective. Amon-Ra St. Brown not making the Pro Bowl is absolutely fucking dumb. So there's just a lot, there's a lot of these things, and it's a numbers game when it comes to all this. But 49er fans showed out, and, it could be literally the 49ers against the AFC team in this flag football competition, and I would take the Niners every week. But they're not playing in that game because they got a game the week after.
They got a game the week after. I do want to shout out John Lynch, by the way. Charvarius Ward and Javon Hargrave, both the headliners of the last 2 free agency classes, and they're both Pro Bowlers. Like that's pretty impressive considering there was a few years where the Niners didn't make too many splash signings. It was a lot of draft stuff. But for your last 2 big defensive signings to be Pro Bowlers, and Charvarius Ward, I think, should be an All-Pro. Just goes to show how good this front office is at kind of finding talent. I know Javon Hargrave was probably an easy signing for the 49ers to make. He was always pretty good. But you remember last offseason, Jason, where we were like, J.C. Jackson, man, we got to go get him. He's going to be really good in this secondary. And it was kind of, Charvarius Ward, okay. Like, they got him, and now he's kind of turned into this he's turned into this really, really good player. So shout out John Lynch. Shout out to the front office for finding those players. Do you have any other final thoughts before we let the people go to their final regular season football Sunday?
No. 3 seasons of doing Sprint Right Option podcast with Andrew Pasquini, man. Our first episode has 142 views. I think we already have cracked that past this one live.
Time flies.
Thank you guys for being able to sit around and watch us talk about WWE, whatever it is in this right now. And shout out to Jim Everett. Here we go. Now it's lit.
Rams Nation.
But I do wanna say thank you. I do want to say thank you to all you guys, man. Like you guys continuing to support is the reason we do it. I understand that we haven't been as consistent. We've just been passing off sickness. But next week, we're gonna figure it out and we're gonna fix it. And then we're gonna figure out who the opponent is. Like like who's the opponent?
So let's plan it real quick. We're gonna come Tuesday. We're gonna do Tuesday because we're not gonna stream during the college
can't stream during the national championship game. No, plus
and then
I'm gonna be busy Monday night. So
we'll probably do something Friday, maybe just a general like playoff preview show. Talk about some of the wild card games and a path for the 49ers. And then we'll be back next Monday to talk about what happened in the playoffs. We're gonna get back on the 2 episodes a week thing. We promise. It's just it's been it's almost been impressive how consistent it's been of like, Jason, hey, I feel good today. Let's go. And I'm like, dog, I've been in bed for 6 hours today. I am dying. And then the next day me going, hey, dude, I feel good. How you doing? I can't do. So it's been a lot of that. So we apologize. We haven't been as consistent these past couple of weeks. It's just everything's going around, man. It's 2024 now. And I guess it's just the year of the sickness. Are you down with the sickness? That's all I got, man. That's all I got.
Hey,
I'm out.
Hey, enjoy this week. Enjoy the next 2 weeks. We're chilling.
Yeah, man.
We're vibing.
Yeah, we're chilling.
We're vibing. And we're waiting.
One final time for the regular season, Jason Aponte, as always.
Let's go Niners. And Dwayne's going to sit at the head of the table.
Mahal kita. Love you guys.
Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here.